So moments ago, House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer telling Fox he expects an emergency hearing with U.S. Secret Service Director as soon as tomorrow about the response to Trump's assassination attempt.
Meanwhile, Fox News correspondent Brooke Singman revealing she spoke with former Attorney General Bill Barr, who told her, quote, the Democrats have to stop their grossly irresponsible talk about Trump being an existential threat to democracy. He is not.
That's exactly right. The problem is it's their only campaign slogan. So what are they going to do? What's Joe going to do?
It's a central theme.
It's the premise of their campaign, is this guy is as bad as Satan. And if that's the premise of your campaign, you have nothing else to run on. But they can't. Are they really going to be so irresponsible to continue that kind of rhetoric?
Yes.
I fear you're probably right. And that's a somber reality of where we are right now. Well, our next guest knows all about political violence. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise, as you recall, was shot at a congressional baseball practice in 2017. And we're glad he's still here, and we're glad he's with us here this morning. Congressman, you have a unique and special perspective here. The specter of political violence is always there, and it can be what people say that encourage an environment where it actually happens.
Yeah, absolutely. And, what Brian said is right, too. I mean, everybody's got to look at the rhetoric, but, it's one side that is going after Donald Trump in a way to demonize him personally. When we talk about the policies of the Democrats and the progressives, it's those policies that need to be front and center. But the left seems to have targeted Donald Trump as a person. They don't talk about how they don't like his tax and border policies. They just go after him personally. They demonize him. It's a weaponization that is dangerous. The mainstream media does it too. They've got to look in the mirror, and they can't be immune from this because it's been an all-out assault on Donald Trump, the person, for years now, and it adds up. I mean, I saw this myself when the shooter went out on the baseball field to kill all of us as Republicans. The rhetoric from the left was what charged the shooter. And it was very violent rhetoric. It was rhetoric that's not even true about Republicans. And that's what's being said now again. It's got to stop. They do it all the time, and they just kind of act like, well, it's somebody else. It's society. It's not society. All it takes is one unhinged person, but that one unhinged person is acting on things specifically that are said by the left. That's what's got to stop.
Well, Congressman, as much as we say it's got to stop, your own personal experience sadly suggests it will not stop. It didn't stop after what happened to you. And as Pete and I were just discussing, it's the central theme to Joe Biden's reelection campaign in 2024, that Donald Trump is a would-be authoritarian on the edge of dictatorship and been compared to Hitler. Do you have any real hope, based on your personal experience, what you know about this reelection campaign, that they're all of a sudden going to stop with this rhetoric?
Well, I think one of the only reasons they do it is because they think it works for them. And when it stops working, that's when it's going to stop. And I think most Americans were disgusted by what they saw. People that will tell you today they won't even vote for Donald Trump thought yesterday was a disgusting day, that, one person tried to literally just take out the leading candidate for president of the United States. I mean, this is not a third world country. We can't tolerate third world activity in the United States. And if it were not for the hand of God, and believe me, God was on the ball field performing miracles. And that's the only reason that me and about a dozen other members of Congress weren't taken out that day. There were miracles that day. Yesterday, there were miracles. And I think the hand of God was there, too. You can just see 1 centimeter over, and we're having a very different conversation. Yes. Miracles are still performed every day, and thank God for that. But there's also hypercharged rhetoric that needs to stop from the left. And as Brian pointed out and Kellyanne pointed out, I mean, look, there's legislation right now filed by Democrats from months and months ago to take away Donald Trump's Secret Service protection. That's a very specific, targeted action because they don't like the person. They can't tell you what policies of his they don't like. When Donald Trump was president, name something he did that you didn't like. You didn't like a hot, strong economy. You didn't like a secure border. You didn't like peace around the world. We had 2 Abraham Accords, peace agreements with Middle East countries and Israel under Donald Trump. And they want to act like none of that existed because they don't like the person. I think maybe they're threatened by the successes he had, and that we can have those successes again. And maybe it threatens the people in power on the left. And that's something to be accounted for. But at the same time, what Donald Trump himself puts himself and his family through, thank God he does, because any other person that's not as strong as Donald Trump might have given up a long time ago. But this man is strong, and he knows he's fighting for a movement. He's fighting for all of those people that show up at rallies that are putting the signs out, that go to boat parades and put Trump signs on their boats.
Right.
You don't see that for any other elected official, and it's because he is the representative of a movement.
Well, Steve, you are strong too, and we are so grateful for the miracle that saved your life. I had dinner with you just last month, and it was wonderful to see you. You're bearing the scars of that. You're still dealing with the injuries of it, and you're still standing too, and we love you, and thanks so much for joining us this morning. Your words are very heartening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
God has a plan for all of us. God bless you. Thank you.
God bless you.